You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes!
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's Stu for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
Do you want that real sports talk? Unfiltered, unsanitized? Well, you have found it. This is a revolution in radio. The realest, trillest sports talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show. This is sports talk for the people. Yeah! What's happening? Yeah! Oh, I feel good, man. It's a Monday. I feel fantastic, and we got to bring it back one more time. Yeah! Yes! Woo! Ow! Thank you for joining your boy. Mad Dog Monday, May 11th, 2015. And, oh boy, we got a lot to get into today. Thank you for joining your boy. Ballas and Bustas. Some people call them Gameballs and Goats, but we call them Ballas and Bustas. We're going to get into that for today. We'll talk about all the NBA action going on, man. Just a lot to get into, man. Thank you for joining your boy for the first minute of the show on Monday. Shouts out to you all. Shouts out to everybody in the chat room already. That Ninja, Rel Scott, Jungle Brother, Big Smooth, Texas Ty. Shouts out to you all. Shouts out to That Ninja. Shouts out to everybody in the chat room. All of my Stewies. What up? Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great weekend. All right, if you're new to the show, now we're doing a lot of marketing, a lot of promotion. If you're new to the show, man, you have locked in and loaded. And you're loaded and listening to the realest, trillest, most unfiltered sports talk show in America, the Doug Stewart Show. That's right, Doug Stewart, one half of the Two Live Stews. My brother's retired right now. but I am continuing the real trio sports talk right here on the Doug Stewart Show. So pass the word, tell people, tell at least one person, and man, they will thank you for that greatly. Yes, they will. So the same things you heard on the Stews is the same things you hear on this show, but I even have more leeway. I have more rope to be real and to give you honest opinions, man, and to have fun, and that's what we do around here. We have a lot of fun Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We do Ballas and Bustas. We do top fives, which we got a great top five for you today. And we talk sports and entertainment. It's probably like 60-40 sports, but we talk dude talk. Whatever you're talking about, that's what we hit on the Doug Stewart Show. You can give us a call. The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But just as I mentioned earlier, and I gave a shout-out to everybody in the chat room, the easy way to be totally interactive and to get your thoughts out there to the world, all right, is the chat room on Spreaker.com. You might be listening on my app right now, but you can also listen on Spreaker.com. And on Spreaker, they have this little thing where you can jump in a chat room with everybody else that's listening to the show, and I read a lot of those posts throughout the episode, throughout the day's show, and so we have a good time with that, and it really makes you kind of like my co-host, kind of like my wingman, all right? My side, the side guy in the cockpit with me. That's what it is with the chat on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so what are we going to get into today, man? The NBA playoffs. I mean, the NBA is fantastic. I think I'm going to coin that. The NBA is fantastic. Yes, absolutely fantastic. I can't think of another time where on one particular weekend we've had 3 buzzer beaters. I'll get more into that in a second. We're going to talk some Hawks basketball, obviously, with the tough loss this past weekend. Atlanta Braves, real tough weekend for the ATL in general, man. Just a horrible weekend. ATL got their ass whooped all over the place. Terrell Pryor's in the news. Dante Fowler, obviously you've heard about that story. Jameis Winston's in the news. So a couple little stories out there in the world of sports. But what we're going to do today, and I just mentioned about how I can't remember another time where there's been 3 buzzer beaters at the end of an NBA game to win games, and especially in the playoffs on one particular weekend. I can't remember that ever in my lifetime. So you know what happened. You had, obviously, Paul Pierce's shot that beat the Atlanta Hawks this past weekend. Then you had Derrick Rose with the last-second shot to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then LeBron James and the Cavaliers followed that up with his own game winner on yesterday, which I was watching. It was unbelievable. So, first of all, let me give baller awards to them dudes. Let me give baller awards to those 3 dudes right there, man. Unbelievable shots last second, and especially LeBron James's, which we'll get more into later. LeBron just said, freak it, I can't cope. I can't cope. And screw the coach. Screw David Blatt. Damn it, this is what we're going to do, and it worked. Now, a lot of times in that situation, if you don't make it work, then you end up being the bad guy. But he scrapped the coach's call, came up with his own play, and executed it to perfection. So all 3 of those guys, Paul Pierce, and I hate giving ball awards to Paul Pierce, not a fan of Paul Pierce at all, long story. Paul Pierce, Derrick Rose, and LeBron James gets today's first 3 baller awards. So in honor of Paul Pierce's post-game interview with Chris Broussard from the Puppet Factory, where he said this.
Did you call bank? Hey,
And he walked off. So Paul Pierce, man, for that, we're going to talk about the top 5 post-game trash talking of all times. Now, you can kind of figure out who they're going to be based on history and based on the fact that you're a sports fan. There's some epic post-game interviews where cats just talk mad trash that you can remember. I mean, there's very memorable moments of those in the history of sports. So we're going to kind of run down the list. Coming in at number 5 on my list is Paul Pierce and what he said on yesterday. It was good, but it was short. Everything that I've got on my list from 4 through 1 are just like some of these dudes go on diatribes, okay? And some of these dudes just they lose themselves. And so we're going to have some fun with that today on the Doug Stewart Show. And give me your thoughts on it as well in the chat room on Spreaker.com. The top 5 post-game trash talks, I guess you could call it, of all time. So, all right, so we're going to do that. I need your ballers and your busters, and we're going to hit on some of these stories. Still some remnants of Deflategate, and I guess it's not really remnants because we really haven't come to a conclusion in this thing. So we'll get into that conversation today. There's still some talk out there about that, so we'll talk about Deflategate. I'll give you my thoughts on the latest news out there with that, and I'll also hear your thoughts. Seems like people are kind of trying to soften the blow. It seems like to me as far as what's going to happen with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, and I'm telling you, don't do that. Don't let that happen. This is bad, and I know I railed on and on about it on Friday, Thursday, or whenever the story first broke where the news actually came down about the Wells report. But don't let these cats off the hook, man. This was horrible. This was absolutely horrible. It affected the play on the field, much like unlike a lot of other things that have happened in football over the last year that had no bearing really on what happened in the game, and cats were punished tremendously. So don't let it happen, man. Do not let it happen where Tom Brady gets off the freaking hook. I mean, I had a conversation this past weekend. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I had a conversation this past weekend with one of my cousins, and he just went on and on and on talking about how this isn't that big of a deal and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, man, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. And there's like Brady apologists out there. There's like Brady apologists out there that want to, I guess, and the biggest example of that I've seen, and you may have seen this as well, because I saw a clip. Somebody actually sent me the email, is Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi in a conversation, I can't remember the other guy, the big black guy that used to play offensive line in the NFL, played for the Jets, obviously, and he played for the New England Patriots. And he was, in effect, trying to keep it real about this Deflategate thing and about Tom Brady and the fact that he probably, or more likely, or he definitely did cheat. And he told these ball boys or equipment managers to deflate these balls. And Teddy Bruschi, you know, he's like the biggest Tom Brady and Patriots apologist ever. I mean, the biggest. And he's ignoring facts. And I just don't like people that don't keep it real. I don't. And he's bumping for him and making all these excuses about why it's not that big, or he doesn't believe Tom Brady did. Yeah, that was his thing, is I don't believe that he would lie. I don't believe that he would lie. I don't believe that he would tell, this is Teddy Bruschi talking, I don't believe that he would tell the equipment manager to do such a thing. And you are lost, sir. You're lost. You're lost. So we're going to get into that, man. I'll get your thoughts on it. Hit me up on Spreaker.com. All right, when we get back from the break, number 4 on my list of top 5 post-game trash talks of all times. And we'll continue to give out these balls and busters. I'll read some of your chats. We'll do birthdays at some point. We got a lot to do, man. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on The Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Anything.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show.
I'm coming.
And May 11th, 2015, you just heard Kevin Garnett with the Anything's Possible as the Boston Celtics won the NBA championship. That was classic. That was all emotion, too. And Kevin Garnett's an emotional dude, and you definitely heard it come through on that Anything's Possible comment. So we're talking about top 5 post-game trash talks of all times, kind of in honor of Paul Pierce and what he said this past weekend after beating the Atlanta Hawks. And the Hawks actually, they were down by 20-plus points and actually found a way to come back and tie this thing. And then Paul Pierce, obviously, with the big shot at the end. So a lot of NBA talk from this past weekend. Thank you for joining your boy on the Doug Stewart Show, Mad Dog Monday. Hey, listen, tomorrow morning, let me tell you this quickly before I forget. Tomorrow morning at 7:45 a.m., your boy is going to make a little cameo appearance on the Tom Joyner Morning Show on the TJMS. So at 7:45 a.m., I think I'm going to be talking about the NBA and the playoffs and what's going on right now. So all of that stuff. So pass the word, 7:45 a.m. in the morning on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Shouts out to Brother Tom. This segment is brought to you by System 5 Electronics. They're proud to offer my listeners in the Atlanta area the most affordable home security monitoring systems featuring smart solutions for your busy lifestyle for as little as $16.50 per month. That's unbelievable, man. They've been around for over 25 years. And if you've got an issue with your security alarm system, man, call up there and ask to speak to the owner. His name is Mr. Maceo Brown. Yes, sir. Mr. Maceo Brown. So check them out online. Make sure you tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. That's System5electronicsinc.com. Once again, that's System5electronicsinc.com. All right, so earlier I talked about the Bulls and the actual the Cavaliers. This past weekend, Derrick Rose hit the game-winning shot when they were tied to go up in the series 2-1, and then tit for tat. If it didn't happen yesterday, and I'm a true believer, I'm a firm believer, that if the Cavaliers didn't find a way to win this game yesterday, they were going to lose this series because they would have been down 3-1. They would have been headed back to Cleveland, but I don't think it would have been enough. And the problem right now, and why I talked about it on last week and on Friday, why I think this is probably the greatest or one of the best years to ever steal an NBA championship, is because of a lot of influx and a lot of issues going on with teams. All right. Once again, if the Cavs don't find a way to win this game yesterday, they go down 3-1. A lot of it you could probably blame on the fact that they've had an inconsistent lineup. Obviously, you know about no Kevin Love. Paul Gasol actually sat this game out yesterday with an injury. J.R. Smith was suspended, so they had J.R. back yesterday. So, they're not whole. It's just something not right with them. And yesterday, LeBron James and your boy Kyrie Irving have horrible games, and they still found a way to win. It's almost like that whole thing they call, Manifest Destiny? It's almost like the Cleveland Cavaliers are destined to make it to the finals. I don't know if they're going to win it, and I'll tell you who I like to win it all in a second here. But, they got to win this series. I just don't see how they won't go at least to the NBA Finals, okay? And so they get this win on yesterday. It was a huge win. Unbelievable last-second shot by LeBron James. And if you're a fan of the Two Live Stews and have been for the last decade, you know I was not a fan of LeBron James after he left Cleveland to go to Miami. But I'm back now. Before he went to Miami, I was a fan of the dude. It's hard not to be a fan of the dude. Seems like a great guy off the court, unbelievable basketball player. That's a long story. I'm not going to even get into it. But I wasn't a fan of the guy when he went down to Miami. Now that he's back, I'm actually kind of rooting for him. Outside of my Lakers and outside of the Hawks, I think it'd be a cool thing for LeBron James to bring a championship to Cleveland. I think it'd be a great thing. And so I definitely see them making it to the finals, definitely from the East. And I think the Bulls just really pissed away an opportunity on yesterday. On the flip side of that, Buster Award to the Chicago Bulls, man. Unbelievable. After the very incredible win on Friday with Derrick Rose in the last-second shot, they just really throw it all to the win on yesterday. And just give this game away. Tough shot. I really don't know what more they could have done to defend that game on yesterday, but as they come up a little bit short. So now it's 2 games apiece. They head back to Cleveland. I think that's too much to overcome. I think it's going to be too much for them to overcome. I'd like the Cavaliers to go ahead and win one of these games, and then Chicago probably win the next one. And chances are there'll be a Game 7 in Cleveland, and you know what happens with that. So Ball Award to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah. What the hell is the matter with the Houston Rockets? Seriously, what the hell is the matter with the Houston Rockets as they get blown out last night? Blown out last night by the Clippers, 128-95. And let me just say this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Always been very critical of Dwight Howard. Fantastic, what's the best way to put this? Fantastic God-given abilities or God-given talent. And talking about Dwight Howard. But yesterday, he just comes up super short in this game. DeAndre Jordan goes for 26 and 17. The man can't shoot a damn free throw. They fouled the hell out of him trying to do a hack of Jordan, I guess you'd call it. And Dwight Howard, Superman, a.k.a. Superman, 10 freaking points, 5 from 12 from the field. And he actually gets manhandled by an even less skilled player than him in DeAndre Jordan. The Clippers now go up in their series 3-1, and the Clippers might be a real contender. I never thought I'd say that in my lifetime. The Clippers might be a real contender, man. They might be a real contender. James Harden comes up short yesterday as well. He only has 21 points, but this is a guy we've been talking about as far as the league MVP, comes up short on that. And the Clippers, man, they're up 3-1, and they're going to be tough to beat. But here's the team who I like, and I'm giving them a Ball Award today. Ball Award goes out to the Memphis Grizzlies. Yes. Ball Award goes to the Memphis Grizzlies, man. Wow. Unbelievable. They beat the Golden State Warriors 99-89 on Saturday. They go up 2-1 in their series against the Golden State Warriors. Couple of things I'm going to brag about, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Number one, I'm going to brag about the fact that Dwight Howard is who we thought he was, and that's lame. And then two, as well as a lot of other people in basketball that love the sport of basketball, just don't believe in the Golden State Warriors. We just don't believe in them. Because you live and you die by the three-point shot. I mean, how many times have you heard that in your sports life and talking about a basketball team? And it's true. I mean, just at some point, you could be off. And you're talking about three-pointers, the chances of making the three-pointer, the percentages decrease the further out you go. And this team is so reliant on three-point shooting. And they go down to the Memphis Grizzlies 99-89. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to go on record. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm going to go on record with this. The team that's probably going to win it all, I believe right now at this point, looking at all of the teams, the team that I like to win it all right now, and if I had money, I'd put money on them right now, and I don't have a damn cent. The team that I like to win it all, man, is the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Because we've always heard, once again, another axiom in sports is that in the playoffs, the game slows down. Okay, and Golden State obviously can shoot the hell out of the ball. Some people say that Thompson and Curry are the best shooting backcourt of all times. I don't know about that. I don't want to agree to that right now. I don't want to say yes to that right now. But they are a shooting basketball team. They're also, for all intents and purposes, a young basketball team. You look at this Memphis Grizzlies squad, man. They play old-school basketball, a true low-post presence in Randolph and Gasol. They've got a fantastic point guard, a warrior point guard to say. Yes, and Mike Conley. The man's playing with a broken face. The man's playing with a broken face and playing fantastic basketball. Then you got your defensive star as well, and Tony Allen. So they got all of the pieces. They've got some experience. They've been in the playoffs for the last couple of years. And they've got even a good bench. I like their bench as well. You bring a veteran off the bench like Vince Carter or whatever. You got some bench players. I like the Memphis Grizzlies. Right now, I'm going on record. And I think Vegas is saying at this point that the favorite to win the NBA championship is the LA Clippers. Nah, I don't like that. If the Clippers match up against the Grizzlies in the finals, give me the Grizzlies. And I know the NBA and I know the networks probably don't like to hear that because it's a small market team. But I'm telling you right now, the Grizzlies on paper is the best team remaining. Now, I would probably go with Cleveland if they didn't have all the issues that they have going on with personnel, as I just talked about a couple of minutes ago. Golden State, once again, I'm not a fan. I really wish the Hawks could do it, but I doubt it. Because they just don't have that presence in the paint once again like a team like the Memphis Grizzlies. So I just don't see that the Hawks, and they don't have that star player like everybody's talked about as well. I just don't see the Hawks getting past the Cavaliers. Okay? So I like the Cavs, and I like the Memphis Grizzlies in the finals, and I like the Memphis Grizzlies to win the NBA championship this year. I know. I sound crazy. But book it. Book it. What are your thoughts on that? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I mean, I don't trust the Chicago Bulls. I don't think they're going to win this series against Cleveland. Maybe if the Bulls would have won yesterday, then I would have thought that. But their chemistry, the fact that Derrick Rose is just getting back to the team late, they've got buku injuries as well. I just don't trust Chicago. I like Memphis. And I like the Cleveland Cavaliers to make it to the finals. And LeBron James falls short this year. That's what happens. LeBron James falls short this year. They'll probably win it next year once they get healthy. I don't know if Kevin Love's even going to be back with this team next year, but they'll replace him if they have to. Maybe the Cavs win it next year, and maybe the year after that, and the year after that. But not this year, man. I'm on record, baby. I am on record. The Memphis Grizzlies, the Grizz, they do it. What are your thoughts? All right, when we get back from the break, we'll talk about some birthdays. I'll read some of your chat. That's what I do around here on the Doug Stewart Show. And we'll continue to give out Ballas and Bustas. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. System 5 Electronics is proud to offer my listeners in the Atlanta area the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for your busy lifestyle for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's just a few reasons to choose System 5. Not only is their monitoring station located here in Atlanta, But they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this, you own your security alarm system once it's installed. Not only have they been around for almost 25 years, but their customer service is excellent. And you get direct access to the owner, Mr. Maceo Brown, to resolve any issues with your alarm system. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736. And make sure and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Yes!
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Of the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to shut it for you real quick. L.O.B.
All right, and Joe, back over to you.
And Richard, you know, when you were in studio a few weeks.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so you just heard Richard Sherman coming in at number 3 on my list of top 5 post-game trash talks of all times is Richard Sherman talking cash-ish about Michael Crabtree from the San Francisco 49ers after the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago. Welcome back. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Mad Dog Monday. Shouts out to everybody in the chat room. I'm going to read some of your chat here in a second. Hit me up on Spreaker. Make sure when you go to Spreaker.com, you follow the show, hit the little follow button, and basically subscribe to the show. That's a big thing. That's a big word that they use. And then you can hit the little group button or the little talk button, kind of like a comic book talk little bubble. You hit that button, and then you're in the chat room with all the Stewies, and you're chatting it up. And I read all of that. And Have fun with it. From, or in today's birthdays, Atlanta's own Cam Newton turns 26 years old today. Happy birthday to Cam. Carolina Panther quarterback. I read this past weekend that Cam just got his degree from Auburn. So congratulations to him, man. That's a big accomplishment for that young man. So 26 years old today. Jeremy Maclin turns 27 years old today. Wide receiver now for the Kansas City Chiefs. Ran out of Philadelphia by Chip Kelly, like so many others have been. And also, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan turns 82 years old today. Damn, Farrakhan old. He owes Methuselah. And he's still up and running, though. Farrakhan was a calypso singer before he started preaching, and his stage name was The Charmer. Tree, jump on for a second. Tree, the producer to the Doug Stewart Show. Did you know that? Did you know that he was actually
Calypso Louie? Yes.
Calypso Louie.
No, that's what Rush Limbaugh calls him, I think.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like I've heard that before. How was your weekend while I got you on? How was your weekend?
It was good.
Okay. All right.
Restful.
Right.
Peaceful. How about you?
It was good. Did you get everything you wanted for your Mother's Day?
Yes.
Your kids took care of you? What
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I just like to relax, really.
Right.
Because I work so much. So, yeah, it was cool.
All right, so Tree's the producer to the show if you're new to the show. And fantastic, does a great job. Actually, if it was no Tree, there'd probably be no me. I mean, I'll tell a story in the book at some point. But, yeah, so 404-382-0338 is the number to the show, talking about all of your ballers and your busters from this past weekend, a.k.a. your game balls and your goats. Let me read some of this chat here from a man, Vince Wright. Why does Doug hate Paul Pierce? Oh, it's a long story. You've never heard the story about Paul Pierce? All right, long story short, me and Ryan, my brother, played in a celebrity, and I'm using that term very loosely where it concerns us at the time. We played in a celebrity pool tournament in Vegas probably like 8 years ago during the All-Star game, and one of the teams that we beat, this was a team competition, one of the teams that we beat was Paul Pierce and some other dude he had playing with him. And Paul Pierce was talking to us like we was his darn servants or something. I mean, Paul Pierce, and you know he's got a bad attitude. They love him in the media or whatever because he says all of the right things. But you remember Paul Pierce got like stabbed up in Boston? Word on the street is he talks a lot of cash-ish and like really thinks highly of himself. And so he was talking like cash-ish to me and my brother. Not fun, trash talk. Like really vile, like he really wanted to step to us or something like that. He didn't want to do that. And so ever since then, not been a fan of Paul Pierce, to make a long story short. From Miss Mocha Bella, Richard Sherman, #1 trash talker. Actually, #3 on my list, as you just heard. Yeah, #5 was the Paul Pierce soundbite from yesterday where he talked about, where Chris Broussard says, did you call glass on the bank shot that he hit for the win against the Hawks the other day? And he said, nah, I called game. That was pretty good. And then anything's possible. Kevin Garnett comes in at #4. And then coming in at #3, I had the Richard Sherman soundbite where he just went off on Michael Crabtree. From Clay Davis, she advisor. Bus has to go to the Rockets for getting punked last night. Dwight Howard and James Harden have no heart whatsoever, and I 100% agree. I don't want to include Harden in that conversation. I just think Dwight Howard's probably rubbing off on him, and that's not a good thing. I don't think that any team, the way it stands right now, because you got to believe that Dwight Howard is probably at the summit of his skills and of his career. Like, he was ascending, and then you get to the top of the hill, and then you start descending. And I don't think Dwight Howard's going to get better than he's been in his career. I don't think he's going to get better, so he's probably at worst, or at least at the top of the hill, at the top of the mountain, right? And for the performance that he's been putting together in these playoffs, he's already been reduced to a second leading role, in going to Houston and playing with James Harden. I just don't think he's going to get any better. And so if you haven't seen Dwight Howard win a championship now, I don't think he will. It's as simple as that. So I 100% agree with Clay Davis. I agree. I think that if Dwight Howard's on your team, you pretty much you've lost. You're not going to win the championship. I can say that right now. From Eddie Mo 2.0, number one has to be Richard Sherman. Actually, number one is not Richard Sherman. When you hear who I got at number 2 and number 1, you'll understand why I don't have Richard Sherman at number 1 as far as post-game trash talk. From J-Rob, Buster Ward to the Rockets doing the hack of Jordan in the first quarter and getting blown out. Yeah, okay. So they were doing the hack of Jordan, and they still get blown out. Who does that? And a little side topic, man. What do you think about this? It seems like I don't remember it being this bad with what the Rockets have been trying to do, and Kevin McHale, the head coach of the Houston Rockets. I don't remember it being this bad when this thing all started with Shaq, with the hack of Shaq. I don't remember a team purposely in the first half going out and fouling a dude purposely 28 times. Who does that? That's horrible. Now, I don't know what you can do to change that because what? It's a part of the game. I don't know what you can do. I don't even want to get into the conversation about that because I have no clue. I'm sure the NBA is going to do something about it this year. But it's crazy in the fact that it went on and it's going on more now in this series, especially with the Clippers and the Rockets, than I could ever remember it going on with Shaquille O'Neal. And maybe Shaq just shot a better free throw percentage, not much better than DeAndre Jordan, I'm sure. And so it was less of a weapon back then. I don't know. But right now, it's just horrible. And it's not aesthetically pleasing. You want to turn the channel. You don't want to watch somebody just run up and grab DeAndre Jordan's ass. You don't want to see that. Okay? And that's exactly what's happening, man. So the NBA, I believe, is definitely going to do something about it. I don't know, once again, what they can do, because at the end of the day, you just need to hit your damn free throws. And if you can't hit your free throws, that's a you problem. And I'm sure coaches and Kevin McHale will argue that. It's not our fault, that the guy can't shoot free throws. You're not going to change rules because of one person can't shoot free throws. I don't know. Something's got to be done because that's just not good. From Vince Wright, Mike Tyson had some classic post-fight interviews. He wanted to eat Lennox Lewis's kids, remember? That might make my chat or my top 5 list. From Niner for Life, Brittany Griner married a Johnson. Wow, laugh out loud. Okay, I get that. And so I guess the game plan and the way to go is whenever you're involved with domestic violence, you go ahead and marry the person. If you marry the person, that'll kind of like get you under the radar and it'll be swept under the rug and we won't talk about it anymore. Yeah, if you haven't heard, Brittany Griner, the WNBA player of the year in college at Baylor, I do know that much about her. The chick that she got in a fight with, her girlfriend, a couple of weeks ago, she married the young lady this weekend. So congratulations, I guess. This is 2015. I guess chicks marry chicks all the time. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was that easy. From Eddie Mo 2.0, Buster Award to the coach of the Cleveland for almost. Oh, yeah, David Black gets a Buster Award. This ninja was about to call timeout. And I've heard it talked about, I listen to Mike and Mike. I have that on the background in the morning on the Puppet Factory. And they were, Mike Greenberg was continuously saying how that would have been even worse than what happened with Chris Webber back in the day when he was at Michigan, and how Webber, many, many years after the fact, still haven't lived that down. David Blatt tried to call a timeout with no timeouts left. And really, I'm going to be honest with you, I think the referees just gave him one. Because Tyronn Lue jumped in front of him and stopped. It was like, no, man, we don't got no timeouts. But there was a referee. If you saw the wide angle of the shot, there was a referee on that baseline, on that side of the court, that was looking right at Blatt. And Blatt was running on the floor, calling timeout, doing the timeout signal. Yes. And they ignored it. And then you know what happened. They came down and they actually had an out-of-bounds type play. They had to go to the sideline, review the clock, which kind of slowed down play as well. That's something else everybody's been talking about. The fact that the Cavaliers, at the end of that game yesterday, really got a timeout. I think that's easily addressable. You just can't have the players. You can't have the players go to the sideline and converse with the coach. Some kind of way they got to do that. I guess technically you don't want the players talking to each other either, and getting that extra time as well. I don't know how you're going to stop that. You're not going to split the players up on the floor and tell, you go to that corner, you go to that corner, you go to that corner. That looks kind of hokey. That looks kind of cheesy, but maybe they will do something like that because, in effect, they got a timeout and were able to come together with a play. And even though LeBron James scrapped the play, as he put it, they got time to work out a play. So they're going to have to work on a couple of things in the NBA. Buster Award to the NBA for not figuring this stuff out. Hacker Jordan added extra time and official timeouts. They got to do something about that. They're going to have to do something about it. It's a Buster Award to them. I just wanted to give them a Buster Award. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. When we get back from the break, I'll read more of your chat, talk about more of your ballers and your busters. That's what we're going to do, man. Sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play. So, you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. The Doug Stewart Show. The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show. If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. If you're not stewing, what in the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Man Talk Monday, Mad Dog Monday, whatever you want to call it. Need your ballers and your busters. A lot of them to give out, man. I'm reading some of this chat here. Getting your thoughts on the hot sports stories. Shouts out to that ninja and Miss Mocha Bella. As Mocha says, Buster to the Rockets, Bulls, Warriors, Hawks this weekend. I think the Hawks are still going to win their series against the who are they playing? The Washington Wizards. I do. I think the Hawks are still going to win their series. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but I think they are still going to pull this thing out. They got to figure something out real fast, and obviously not having that inside presence is killing them. You saw Nene had a fantastic game the other day on their win. The last-second winning shot, Paul Pierce game. Nene had a fantastic game. And just the fact that that we don't have that low post presence, that real big guy, kind of like what Memphis has, as I talked about earlier, is really going to come back to haunt the Atlanta Hawks, and it is right now. But I still like the Hawks to win this series. I still think they can get it done. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Speaking of which, a little bit of controversy in that game where DeMarre Carroll was not on the floor to guard Paul Pierce, which is most people in the sport or that follow basketball tell you that DeMarre Carroll is the best defender on the perimeter defender on this Hawks team. So why did Coach Bud not have him in? Well, if you look at the game, if you remember what happened in that game, the bench really spurned the comeback. And so you had in the game, you had Shelvin Mack, Kyle Korver, Kent Bazemore, Mike Muscala and those guys, and they really are the reason they got back in the damn game. Now, I don't understand, why DeMarre Carroll wouldn't come in for that specific purpose to stop Paul Pierce, a guy that has done this throughout his career. I might not be a fan of Paul Pierce, but Paul Pierce has shot some daggers in his career, especially when at Boston when they went on their run for those couple of years and won that championship. So I don't get that at all, but it's hard to question anything that Coach Bud does too much. The fact that this team does have the best record in the Eastern Conference, the number one seed, really doing a lot with very little, which most people probably would agree with. So it's hard to really argue. Maybe he just got caught up in the moment and felt like, this was the thing to do and to not bring DeMarre Carroll in. But you had Dennis Schroeder, who was 6'1", 6'2"? You had Dennis Schroeder guarding Paul Pierce, who's 6'7", 6'8". And I think it was off of a switch, but still, I think you got to find a way to have your best players in the game at that point defensively for that last-second shot. Also, one other quick thing, ball award to Terrell Pryor, man. He gets signed by the Cincinnati Bengals. Glad I remembered that. He gets signed by the Cincinnati Bengals. You know that he was with Kansas City. He was with Seattle. You know about him being with the Raiders. So the Cincinnati Bengals are going to give him a shot, it looks like, man. And him back playing in his home state of Ohio. He played for Ohio State. I've always thought that this guy could play in the NFL. Now, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that we aren't privy to. And maybe, that's the reason why he continues to get cut and waived or whatever. Maybe he can't pick up on defenses. Maybe he's not that smart. I don't know. Maybe he's not that smart. Whatever the reason may be, talent-wise, you telling me Terrell Pryor can't play in the NFL? I just don't believe that, man. And especially with the way the game is played today and the emergence of, guys like Colin Kaepernick and Cam Newton and those type of guys, those type of players, I just don't get it, man. Terrell Pryor must be doing something real stupid in practice. He must not be able to pick up plays or something. I don't know, and I'm just speculating. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe every time he goes and plays for a team, he starts messing with the coach's daughter or something. I don't know. I can't figure it out. It's all speculation. I can't figure it out, but he gets another opportunity, man. He's gotten plenty of opportunities, but seemingly once he gets in camp, then he's gone real quick, and it just doesn't add to me with that guy's talent, that guy's physical ability. I just don't get why he's not on an NFL team, but ball award to him and to Cincinnati for giving him a shot. From JB Jennings in the chat room on Spreaker.com, ball award goes to Canelo Alvarez. Ooh, yes, ball award to Canelo Alvarez. Golly. What's the dude's name? Jermaine Kirkland? You talk about an ass whooping of epic proportion. Third round knockout. He knocked him down several times before the eventual knockout. And here's why I'm glad that you brought this up, Mr. JB Jennings. I don't know how I didn't write it down in my notes. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And if you've listened to this show, you know where I'm going. Canelo ain't no punk. Okay? Canelo Alvarez is a beast. Okay? He is. And even Canelo Alvarez got his ass kicked when he fought Floyd Mayweather Jr. Yeah, you can be mad. You can boo all you want. But this is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s greatness. Before this fight, and I remember because out of all the opponents that Floyd has had and he's ultimately beaten, I thought that Alvarez would probably be his toughest competition because he's just so deadly accurate. Just a fantastic pugilist. Really, when Alvarez first came on the scene and started beating people, I thought that he reminded me so much of Oscar De La Hoya, but I thought with even a little bit more power. And the fact that when De La Hoya first started, De La Hoya was just so deadly. Like every punch he threw, he connected. And that's kind of the same way I felt about Alvarez. I thought that he would have more of a chance. I didn't think he would win, but I thought that he would have more of a chance against Floyd than anybody. He fought a good fight, but ultimately he got his ass whooped too. Okay? And so just remember, everybody's singing the praises of Alvarez and talking about how great of a fighter he is. Yeah, he is. He is a great fighter. But don't forget as well that when he fought Floyd Mayweather Jr., he looked like a freaking amateur. Just like Manny Pacquiao the other night. Yes. And so that's a perfect example, man. Every time Floyd fights somebody, oh, this is the guy that's going to beat him. Oh, this is the guy that's going to beat him. And then after the fight's over and the guy looks foolish, the guy looks like an amateur, the guy looks like he's totally outclassed, then they'll say, oh, he wasn't even that good, or he's past his prime. They'll come up with some bootleg excuse. No, Alvarez is a great fighter. Floyd is an all-timer. Okay, and I've said this many, many times before. There's a difference between a great fighter, a fantastic fighter, and an all-timer. Okay, Floyd's in the conversation with, Hagler and Hearns and those type of guys. Okay, and Sugar Ray. He's in that conversation. All these other guys that Floyd have beat up on, they're not in that conversation. They're not. They are not. And so great fight and great win by Canelo this past weekend, man. He handles his business. Baller award goes to him. Niner for life. If deflating balls isn't a big deal, why don't they all do it? Yes, and why is there not, or why is there a rule against it in the rule books? It's just absolutely ridiculous to me. Stagger Lee. Richard Sherman is probably number one after the way he treated Crabtree that year. Never tried me with a second-ranked wide receiver. That's a classic quote, but he came in third on my list. From Jungle Brother. Deion Sanders, this is my house. Ooh. Deion Sanders, this is my house. Oh, damn. I might have to readjust my, I forgot all about my house, Deion Sanders. Damn. Let's see who I got on my list here. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Paul Pierce. All right, we're getting rid of Paul Pierce at number 5. Paul Pierce has dropped out. We're getting rid of Paul Pierce. The I Call game. We're getting rid of that. And we're moving anything's possible down to 5. I got this is what you call professional leeway here. This is what you call show owner privilege. So we're gonna move anything's possible to 5, and we're gonna move Richard Sherman down to 4, and in the number 3 spot we're gonna put Deion Sanders. This is my house. This is my house. When he came back to Atlanta as a 49er, returned a touchdown, interception for a touchdown. Yeah, this is my house. He just went off. This is my house. Damn. Thank you, Jungle Brother, for that. So he has Deion Sanders. This is my house at number 1. Hate that I missed that. Number 2, he has Richard Sherman. Number 3, he has Can't Wait. The Bart Scott comment in the playoffs a couple of years ago from the Jets, outside linebacker, Can't Wait. I'm going to put Bart Scott's Can't Wait comment in my honorable mention, but that's a good one as well. From Fred Mack, saw the boy Ricky Smiley in Long Beach, California on Saturday. He is a funny cat. Him and Special K, Michael Blackson, and Tommy Davidson, not so much. Wait a minute, Tommy Davidson wasn't funny? I like Tommy Davidson, man. And you know what? I'm trying to think. Have I ever seen Tommy Davidson on stage, like performing? I mean, clearly I've seen him on In Living Color, and we actually had Tommy Davidson in studio one time many, many years ago. And but I don't think I've seen Tommy Davidson do live stand-up, and maybe that's why. Maybe he's not that great at it. So that's disappointing. But Ricky Smiley, the thing about Ricky Smiley, man, is you gotta kind of relate to his comedy because you know what he does. A lot of what he talks about is old people and southern things, country-centric things. So, you know, people from other parts of the country, I've heard them say that they don't get it. They don't think he's that funny. But as a dude that grew up under the wing of his grandmama and sitting on her porch every day during the summer drinking sweet tea and shelling peas, I totally get Ricky Smiley. I do. Man, it's hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. When we get back, man, we'll continue with our top 5 post-game trash talks of all times. Just had a little stir up in mind. And then we'll also continue to read your chat and talk about these stories from the world of sports. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. If you're not stewing, what the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Man, shouts out to everybody in the chat room. Making today's show totally interactive. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I'm going to read more of your chat here in a second. That's what we do on the Doug Stewart Show is we read a lot of chat. Ball award, I guess, to the Washington sports teams in general because the Washington Nationals just swept the Braves this weekend, kicked the crap out of the Atlanta Braves. Your boy Bryce Harper just went ham, being the youngest player with that many home runs in I think it was 4 or 5 games in a row in baseball history. And so ball award goes to him. And the Atlanta Hawks, the Atlanta Braves, man, just really struggling right now a little bit. But the Washington Nationals, this is a team that baseball people have been talking about for the last couple of years. Fell short last year, obviously, but just got a real nice makeup of young players as well. I just talked about Bryce Harper. It's a ball award to Triple Digit, and Triple Digit is one of the listeners to the Doug Stewart Show. I used to listen to the Two Live Stews back in the day. Triple Digit is a guy from D.C. Shouts out to your Washington sports teams, Triple Digit. I mean, golly. I don't think it's going to be enough for the basketball series, though. I think that the Hawks will win this series against the Washington Wizards. Let me go on record with that. So, ball award to them for this weekend. Also, one other quick story I wanted to mention and get your thoughts on as well. You heard about this Dante Fowler story, the defensive end from Florida Gators, drafted this year by the Jacksonville Jaguar, tore his ACL on the first day of mini camps in the first hour of practice. So, bust award to ACLs. I mean, that's horrible. Now, you might be wondering, and it'll come out that he hadn't signed his contract yet for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it's fine. It's okay. There was an agreement made by the union and the owners, between the players' union and the owners, for some type of agreement that you sign before you sign your official contract. And he actually did sign this. So he's going to get his money. You got to remember that the NFL is now the salaries are slotted for the rookies anyway. So he's going to get his money. So this isn't a situation where he got hurt and he's not going to get his money. Jacksonville's like, oh, nah, you hurt now, man. We're not giving you no money. It's not a situation like that at all. He's going to get his money. But you got to really feel for this kid, man. I mean, there's nothing more hurtful. I guess that's the best way to put it. There's nothing more hurtful than not being able to play, man. There's nothing more hurtful, man. You might say to yourself, well, he's rich. He's going to get, over $20 million, and he's going to get $16 million guaranteed. You might say that, man, but there's nothing more hurtful than not being able to play. And having been there myself, obviously with a lot of injuries, but I did tear my ACL in college and was never able to play again or didn't come back to play again. I just know, man, it's just real tough to watch cats play and you can't play. All right? And I know there's a lot of people listening to the show right now that can relate and that have been there, that have played sports at one time in their life. And, man, when you get an injury like this, I just feel sorry for the kid because now, just last week, it's just an array of emotions. You're on a tremendous high. You're on a freaking roller coaster. You're on a tremendous high, and now you're on just a tremendous low. So Buster Award goes out to ACLs, anterior cruciate ligaments. Just horrible, man. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Talking about the NBA playoffs, giving some ball awards to some of the players that had fantastic game-winning shots this weekend, which you had 3 of them on one weekend. And maybe we can find out if that's a record or something. I'm thinking that's got to be a record. That's got to be a record, especially in the playoffs and at the crucial times in the series that these 3 big shots were made. Paul Pierce, then you had Derrick Rose, and then you had LeBron James' big shot on yesterday. That was unbelievable weekend of basketball. Mother's Day weekend. I hope all the mothers had a great weekend. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I mention that. Happy Mother's Day to y'all. I know Mocha Bella's here. I think Mocha got some children. Kim Jane, shouts out to all of the lady listeners. But not only did you have a great weekend, Mother's Day weekend, and you took your mama out and you celebrated mama, but then you got to see some fantastic basketball, man, some fantastic last-second shots, last-second heroics. And you remember that saying or that tagline we were growing up, the NBA is fantastic. They just need to bring that back. It's absolutely fantastic. And this is really gripping. This is some great storylines going on right now because it is so wide open. I can't ever remember another time where I think there's probably 4 or 5 teams that could legitimately win a championship this year. And I mentioned earlier, I like the Memphis Grizzlies. Right now, I like the Memphis Grizzlies, and that's who I'm saying at this point I think is going to win the NBA championship, okay? But remember, you don't have the Lakers, who always make the playoffs and always are a threat to win a championship. For the first time in a long time, you don't got the San Antonio Spurs deep into the playoffs. So that in itself is saying a lot. Okay, and then you talk about the teams in the playoffs. You've got Cleveland. Obviously, they've got LeBron James. You've got the Clippers, who are playing fantastic basketball right now. It seems like Blake Griffin has turned the corner. Like, Blake Griffin is headed to being a superstar. Okay? Then you have the Memphis Grizzlies, who I like to win it all. Some people like Chicago because on the floor, if they're healthy with Pau Gasol and Joakim Noah and those guys, they got a great squad with the MVP, the former MVP, and Derrick Rose. And then some people say, well, you know what? The Hawks are playing fantastic basketball. They could steal a championship this year. So there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams right now that could win it all, in my opinion. I mean, clearly there's a lot of teams that could win it all. And so this is a great time to be an NBA fan, a basketball fan. All right, 404-382-0338. You can email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. From the Kicking It with Kissy, Ball Award to Austin Rivers, who came in. Ball Award to Austin Rivers. Yes, I agree with you. Austin Rivers came in, and what was that, game 2? Was that game 2? It might have been game 3. And just lit it up. Went for 28 points. Can you imagine how proud Doc Rivers is coaching his son and seeing his son ball out of control like that? And Doc was a good player in his day. But Doc, I don't remember Doc ever having a game like that. I'm sure maybe he did. But I don't ever remember Doc Rivers just going off like that, and especially in a playoff game like that. And his son, Austin Rivers, just goes off, man, has 28 points, I believe it was, and just a fantastic outing. Actually just came up real big, and that was the game where they didn't have Chris Paul as well, so they needed a spark, and, man, Austin Rivers gave it to them. From Kiss My Go to Hell, Brucey's still on the Kraft payroll. I believe that. If you heard the comments from Teddy Bruschi and talking about, Tom Brady, it's like he's freaking in love with Tom Brady. He has a man crush on freaking Tom Brady. Now, I know that was your teammate, and you probably don't want to throw, shade on him. You probably don't want to, throw him under the bus. I kind of get that, but you got to be more impartial in doing that job, Teddy Bruschi. I mean, my gosh. If you saw the comments, Teddy Bruschi just, in effect, sounded like a little girl and saying, I don't believe. You know what it sounded like to me, and I just thought of this? It sounds like to me, you remember when Ryan Braun of the Milwaukee Brewers was caught red-handed with using steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, but then he argued that it was a bad test, and he tried to blame the tester, and he threw everybody in the world under the bus, except himself. And then his boy, Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, I guess it's a Milwaukee thing, the Green Bay Packers came out and just defended him till high heaven. And then later on, we found out that Ryan Braun was lying. He admitted to lying and to using these drugs. And then Aaron Rodgers was looking around like a fool. I mean, just looking around like a fool. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen because I believe that Tom Brady's going to ride this thing to the hilt. I don't think that he's going to come clean on this, which is crazy because everybody knows that he actually did this. I mean, there's no other explanation. There's only one explanation. The one explanation is he told the equipment manager and the ball boy or whatever to do this. They would not do that on their own. But I don't think that he's going to come clean. It's a lot of indecisiveness about this, a lot of innuendo about this entire thing. They can't really prove anything to 100% degree, but this isn't a court of law, I guess. This is the court of public opinion, and I hate that court of public opinion. But the bottom line is this: Tom Brady knew what the hell was going on. I don't think there's any denying that. If you're saying that Tom Brady, because they can't really pin this on him 100%, if you're saying that, then you're delusional too, just like Teddy Bruschi. It's as simple as that. From William Mack, if I'm Memphis, I put Tony Allen on Paul. You slow him down. You slow down everything, just like Gary Payton with Seattle. Then they checked him with Pippen and MJ all series long. I guess he's talking about Tony Allen going on Chris Paul. If they actually do meet up in the Western Conference Finals, can Tony Allen keep up with Chris Paul? That's a hard task for anybody, especially for a bigger guy in Tony Allen. But yeah, he's the defensive guy. He's the defensive stopper for that Memphis Grizzlies team. So yeah, maybe they do something like that. They're playing fantastic. Bottom line. They got all of the components. The only thing they're kind of lacking a little bit in is the two-guard position. I think Courtney Lee starts for them there. He's solid, but, I mean, usually your two-guard is the scorer. That's your scoring guard. So maybe, they're lacking a little bit there, but everywhere else, man, they're solid as hell. You got Jeff Green coming off the bench. You got Vince Carter, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. I like the Memphis Grizzlies, man. More of your Ballas and Bustas when we get back from the break, and I'm going to continue to read your chat. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. System 5 Electronics is proud to offer my listeners in the Atlanta area the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for your busy lifestyle for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's just a few reasons to choose System 5. Not only is their monitoring station located here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this, you own your security alarm system once it's installed. Not only have they been around for almost 25 years, but their customer service is excellent. And you get direct access to the owner, Mr. Maceo Brown, to resolve any issues with your alarm system. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736. And make sure and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Yes!
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
I'm the greatest thing that ever lived. I don't have a mark on my face, and I upset Sonny Liston, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I told the world, I talk to God every day. If God's with me, can't nobody be against me. Sonny, I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I am the king of the world. Hold it. Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Coming in at number 2 of greatest post-game /fight interviews is the great Muhammad Ali. Post-fight after knocking out Sonny Liston, he just goes off. He goes ham. There's actually more to that little cut, but he just goes ham and really probably could go first, because if you give historical significance to it as well, Muhammad Ali is probably the first person to talk trash like that behind a microphone as far as an athlete. You know, baseball is still the same way, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Baseball is still the same way where, you know, they want their athletes to be real humble and gracious and not really show any personality. I mean, who before Muhammad Ali would go off like that? I don't think anybody, man. So he comes in at number 2 on my list of top 5 post-game / fight interviews, and that's the great Muhammad Ali. Mama call him Clay, I'ma call him Clay. This segment is brought to you by National Debt Relief. They're one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditors and collection accounts all over this country. Their core services offer debt settlement as an alternative, I repeat, an alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. So before you file bankruptcy, give these folks a chance, all right? I'm telling you, a very reputable company, National Debt Relief. Give them a call. The number is 844-828-4975, all right? You ready for the number again? Before you file bankruptcy, all right, before you go to those extremes, give National Debt Relief a call at 844-828-4975. This is the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I'm going to read more of your chat talking about everything from this past weekend on the Doug Stewart Show, the realest, trillest, most fun sports talk show in America. Thank you for joining me. If you're a new listener, thank you for joining me. Speaking of which, before I jump back to the chats, to the post in the chat room, make sure you follow the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group on Facebook, all right? It's the party after the party. Some people call it the after party, all right? So when we're done today, you can leave out of the chat room and go to the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group and continue the conversation. I mean, we're like family around here. We really are. We're like family. So continue the sports conversation after the show in the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group page, all right? From Fred Mack, Memphis has 2 big men that can't jump over nickel but got game. Yeah, and Paul Gasol, or Mark Gasol and Zach Randolph got that old man game. You know what that old man game is, right? That old man game is, you've been to the courts. You've been to the playground when you were growing up, and you and your young athletic friends, you're running, you're jumping, you're athletes, you know, you're doing all of this. But this dude that was that type of player 25 years ago, he still likes the game. So he still likes the game. He comes out there, and you smell nothing but Bengay, and you see knee braces and wraps and everything from his ankles all the way up to his thigh. And he gets out there, and because he's smarter, he has to be, you know, a little bit wiser. And because he doesn't have his skill set anymore, what he does is he gets the ball and he backs you down. He gives you that bunkie. He bunks you down into the paint, and he does a little dipsy-do, a little up and under, a little Kevin McHale, a little Moses Malone, and he scores on your ass. And you looking stupid. And that's the game. That's the game that Pau Gasol and Zach Randolph got, even though they're still young in relative terms. And he's exactly right. He's exactly right that these guys, man, got old man game. They got great game. They can't jump worth a damn, but it don't matter. I like this squad to win the NBA championship this year. I know the NBA and fans aren't going to like it because it's Memphis. And you know what? The thing about this team, I think this team is kind of interesting. They kind of got a little bit of personality about themselves. Yes, they're 2 big guys. Randolph and Gasol are kind of slow. They aren't high-flying like we like to see guys dunking all the time. But I like Mike Conley. He's a guy that's very creative, active, a floor general up and down the court. I like the attitude and the little swagger of Tony Allen. I like these guys. I like these guys, man. So keep your eyes on the Memphis Grizzlies. T from Miami. T from Miami? New chatter? Shouts out to you, T from Miami. Buster Award to the principal who was hating on black people. Then she tried to clean it up when the news cameras got in her face. Did you see that? Did you see that? Now, let me give you my thoughts on this, and I'm sure you've seen it because it was all over social networks, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And this actually happened in Dublin, Georgia, which I think, and Tree, can you jump on for a second? I think it's a Dublin high school. I think that's somewhere in Gwinnett. Am I right about that, Tree?
I thought it was like in Lithonia or something, or Lawrenceville, Duluth.
I mean, but that's all the same area to me. I think that's all the same. Gwinnett, Duluth, that area, Lawrenceville. I'm considering all that kind of like the same area. So yeah, this principal, they're at the graduation, or maybe it was the baccalaureate. How you pronounce that word?
Baccalaureate.
I'm sorry. And so what happened is she had forgot to announce the next speaker, and she kind of let the ceremony out. And so you know how it is when people are thinking they're about to leave, they get up and they start stirring around, they start moving around, and they start talking. So it's almost like the horse is out of the barn. Okay, the horse is out of the barn. It's hard to get the horse back when he's out of the barn. And she forgets, and she tries to bring this guy up to speak. And by that time, everybody's stirring around once again, and they're trying to leave. And she goes off. She goes ham. And then her statement is, look at all of the black people leaving. Calling out the black students and the people in attendance. And, that was just a bad look. And, I mean, and they had complained about her earlier as being a racist. And it kind of came out just with that comment. What are your thoughts on this, Tree?
That's okay. First of all, nothing's going to happen to her. She founded that school. So everybody needs to just go ahead and brace themselves for no punishment. And I'm wondering, I'm not sure if it's a private school. That means that I'm giving you money and I think you're a racist.
Yeah. If it's some type of
black person doesn't withdraw their child from that school, because ain't nothing gonna happen to her.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I got to read the story more, and maybe that's the case. If it's some type of public funds coming into that school, I mean, she's going to get fired. But if you're right in that she founded it, maybe it's a charter school or something like that, and she calls the shots, I get what you're saying. But I just don't know how you could just let that fly. I mean, that shows your personal and your true character when you make a statement like that. She's really got a problem with those kids.
She's got a problem. Have you seen her? She looked like Honey Boo Boo's mama. I mean, what? I'm sorry, but I want my children, whoever's in leadership over them, at least to emulate and carry themselves. She looks like she left the trailer and went from the trailer to the schoolhouse Monday through Friday.
No,
she doesn't.
Go ahead.
I don't expect any repercussions behind this.
Let me say
disgusting.
this. You really want to know if your school administrators have your kids' interests at in their best hand. And based on those comments from that lady, clearly she does it for the black kids. She's got an issue with black people in general to make that statement. I mean, that was horrible. Now, yeah, she does look very country, but that doesn't really mean anything. I've known plenty of country people. Some people would call themselves rednecks that grew up and lived in trailers or whatever and have had a real southern attitude about themselves that have been very, good people.
Douglas.
But this case right here, I don't know about this lady.
Your grandfather was a principal, right?
Yes, he was.
Do you see how this woman, just the presence, how she carries herself?
Yeah, that was horrible.
That's what I'm referring to, the quality.
Yeah.
And those people, she didn't just show up like that on Saturday or Friday.
Yeah.
She's been cutting up.
And this is the problem, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and I tweeted this weekend. That Britt McHenry chick, okay? She's back on ESPN. And every time I see her, I saw her like a couple of times this weekend. You know about the controversy where she basically cussed out this meter maid person at this towing company. And she was suspended for a week, and then she was allowed to come back. Every time I see that chick, man, I'm like repulsed. And the reason is not that people can't make mistakes, but for you to say the things that Britt McHenry chick said and to say the things that this principal said, that shows your real character. That shows how you really feel. You know, and it's almost like she kind of got caught on tape, and she probably didn't expect for this thing to be as big as it is, and I'm talking about the principal now, and Britt McHenry didn't know that she was being filmed. But that shows your real personal character. That shows who you really are. When you don't think cameras are rolling, and you don't think that it's going to go past the walls of the building that you're in right there, that shows your real character, okay? And I don't know how you can keep that lady around, man, that principal around. I don't know, once again, I don't know the details of the story as far as her relationship with the school. I know she's the principal, but did she found her? Did she found the school? Was she hired? Do they receive state funds? I don't know any of that details. I know what that lady says to me that she has a real issue with black people. That's what I know. That's all I know. And the same thing with Britt McHenry. The comments that Britt McHenry made to that young lady at that towing company says to me that she's a bad, elitist type person. And she is. And they both repulsed me. They both did. I mean, that was shocking. That was shocking. And I'm sure you can find it on Facebook and on Twitter, man. It's all over the place. Just look up principal calling students, calling out students for leaving assembly. Crazy. All right, when we get back, man, Jameis Winston is in the news. He's actually fighting back a little bit. We'll briefly mention that, and I'll also give you the number one post-fight, post-game interview in honor of Paul Pierce, saying that he called game after the big shot against the Atlanta Hawks this past weekend. All right, this is Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, and I'm going to read more of your chat, too. I mean, thank you. I got to show y'all love with your chat. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. The Doug Stewart Show. The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show. If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam.
Is this your shortest fight ever? In any time, amateur, professional ever?
Assalamu alaikum, Maida. I don't know, man. Yeah, Lennox Lewis. Lennox I'm coming for you.
Mike, is it frustrating to train like you did and then have this in 7 or 8 seconds?
For this fight, I only trained probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks for this fight. I had to bury my best friend, and I dedicated this fight. I wasn't going to fight. I dedicated this fight to him. I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lennox is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Are you saying now, Mike, that Mike?
She do it all night. She going hard, right? She loves spotlight. She make that thing go. Rip, drop, drip, drip.
Coming in at number 1. My style is impregnable. I want to eat your children. Damn, Mike. Ooh, that scared the hell out of me when he first said that. Coming in at number 1 on my list of top 5 post-game / fight press conferences / interviews of all times is the great Mike Tyson with that little bit of audio you just heard, man. And all of this comes on the heels of Paul Pierce saying he called game against the Atlanta Hawks this weekend. But yeah, that sound clip, man, Mike Tyson just sounded like a raving lunatic, but it sounded oh so good. It sounded convincing. Like I really did believe he wanted to eat that ninja's children. Oh, my gosh. That was fantastic. So number 5 on my list was Paul Pierce. Actually, Paul Pierce was moved out. Number 5 was KG, Anything's Possible. Number 3, Richard Sherman. Number 3 was Deion Sanders. This is my house. Number 2 was Muhammad Ali, and number 1 was Mike Tyson. Impregnable. My style is unconsciousness or something crazy he said. And then the last thing he topped it off with, I want to eat his children. And talking about the supposed fight down the road with Lennox Lewis. He had just knocked out a dude like in 20 seconds or something crazy like that. And they were asking him, I think it was Jim Gray was asking him about the future and him and Lennox Lewis. And the man just said he wanted to eat the guy's children. I mean, that was unbelievable. This is the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. That is the number to the show. Jameis Winston has filed a countersuit against a woman who accused him of sexual assault, saying the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback did not rape the woman and that she is motivated by greed. And that's David Cornwell and John Myers. They've said that, in effect, they filed a lawsuit was filed against Jameis Winston right before the draft. They had tried and floated out a number to them, to Winston's attorneys of like $7 million to make this go away. And now they're countersuing for $75,000. I don't know where they got that figure from and why that was the amount that they came back with. And in effect, they're saying this isn't about trying to get money. This is trying to clean up his name a little bit and really just go back at the people that are suing him and this young lady that is suing him because it's defamation and he's lost a lot of credibility in the public eye. And so they feel like that is some type of slander. And so interesting to see that he's actually fighting this lawsuit from his accuser. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. This is the Doug Stewart Show. I've heard all day long and actually got a call from a couple of people that I know in the news and saying that this Goodell decision, and actually it's not Roger Goodell, it's Troy Vincent, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that this decision is actually going to be made sometime very soon, meaning this week, in the next couple of days. It's going to be interesting, man. I just think that they've set so many bad precedents as far as game suspensions, fines over the last year or so. You can even go back as far to the New Orleans Saints and what they did with Sean Payton. But you talk about Ray Farmer, you talk about the Atlanta Falcons and the crowd noise, and they're talking about 3-4 games. I'm thinking 10 games. I'm thinking 10 games for Brady and for Belichick. Now, that's probably not going to happen, but I'm thinking you're going to probably get 8, or I think you should get 8 games for Brady. And what will happen is he'll probably try to appeal it. He will appeal it, and he'll probably get knocked down to 4. And I don't know whether that's enough or not. I don't know. But I think you got to do something stern based on what you've done in the past to some of these other guys that you find and some of these other guys that you suspended. I mean, hell, you suspended Sean Payton, the coach of the New Orleans Saints, for a whole damn season. And he really, in effect, he had nothing to do with the whole Bounty Gate thing. The reason why he was suspended is, once again, lack of institutional control, and because that the NFL felt like, if I can remember the story as it went during the time, the NFL felt that he was trying to hide the fact that they had this bounty system or that they gave rewards for hard hits. And I hate that they use that term bounty because I guess you could use that. That's street vernacular for what they were doing. But what they were doing is they were rewarding guys for good plays, for big hits that ultimately subconsciously or consciously affect the play of your opponents. So never had a problem with Bounty Gate. I think that was crap. Sean Payton really, the way that the NFL put it, just really didn't acknowledge it and didn't come forthright about really what was going on from Greg Williams, who was the defensive coordinator that really instituted this whole thing. And he got suspended for a year. And now you're talking about a guy and Tom Brady and something that affects the outcome of play on the field. Man, I think you got to go 10 games. I think you got to go 10 games, even more. Probably not going to happen. Bob Kraft and Roger Goodell are boys. Tom Brady's the golden boy. The Patriots have been the gold standard for football in the last 10 years or so in the NFL. Probably not going to happen. I just think the bottom line is you got to make a strong statement, whatever that may be. From Rel Scott, Zach got that old man game, hard to stop, and he's one of the few big men with a low post game, Memphis. Yeah, Zach Randolph looks like that he was pulled out from the 80s basketball, the 80s NBA, with the way that he plays the game. And once again, it looks like, a dude on the playground that's seen his best years, but he just wants to get out there and compete. From Vince Wright, L.A. is still a Laker town, but the younger population are Clippers fans in L.A. Wow. From Gerald, I would take the Clippers over the Grizzlies. I don't think so, man. I don't think so because of DeAndre Jordan. I think DeAndre Jordan, ultimately, even though he's had these great games and he, is a beast athletically, I don't think DeAndre Jordan could do anything in a 7-game series, ultimately, with Zach Randolph and Pau Gasol and Marc Gasol. I don't think he could. I like the matchup better. If you look at the matchup, I like the matchup between the Grizzlies and the L.A. Clippers, which is going to happen probably in the Western Conference Finals. I like the Grizzlies more. From J-Rob, Memphis, battle tested. They've been into the conference finals, I believe, a few years ago. From Vince Wright, Rivers sucked until yesterday. Daddy picked him up to save his career, but yesterday he showed up. I'm not going to say he sucked, but he hadn't been a big of a player and has done as big things as he did in this game where he goes off. Let me grab a call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Triple Digit. I'm here in Atlanta, but I'm from D.C.
What up, Triple Digit? How you doing, man? Congratulations on your teams this weekend.
I'm on cloud nine right now. I mean, in my lifetime, I've never had this. It's the first time the first time in the franchise history of both the Wizards and Capitals to be in the second round of the playoffs.
Right. I didn't even mention earlier about the Washington Capitals. I talked about the Nationals, and I talked obviously about the Wizards, but the Capitals doing fantastic as well. I'm not a big hockey fan, but yeah, that's more to the case.
But still, the baller definitely has to go to the number 34 because you got Bryce Harper and the Truth both wearing that,
right,
both knocking down, that final shot and hitting that game-winning home run. So I'm just loving life. I guess my buster would have to go to the Caps for not changing Alex Ovechkin's number to 34. Okay. He would have had a hat trick yesterday, but. All good stuff. I'm not talking any ish because, still without Wall, it's going to be a tough battle for my team. I still love them.
Mm-hmm.
Got hope and everything like that. But they play like they did the other thing. They got a chance. And Ramon Sessions and Will Bynum coming off the bench, I loved it. So
I even let me say this. I even forgot, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I even forgot, man, about Will Bynum. I didn't even know he was still in the league. Yeah.
I mean, he only played 12 minutes or 9 minutes and had 12 points.
Yeah.
And came over from China. I mean, we needed that just to have that backup point guard. If we still had Andre Miller as our starting point guard, we'd be in trouble. But, picking up Sessions and picking up Bynum to go along with a little bit of Garrett Temple, I'll take it. I mean, it's not enough to go on, but if we get Wall healthy, we got a Wiz versus Grizz in the finals.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Appreciate the call, Triple Digit. He called 404-382-0338. Yeah. Will Bynum, former Georgia Tech player, actually signed recently, I believe, as Triple Digit talked about, actually played in Japan, and just a solid player with the injuries to John Wall. Brought him in there, and he did some great things this weekend in their series. All right, when we get back from the break, I got a little bonus trash talk. You could probably guess who it's going to be, but stay tuned for that bonus trash talker and all of the conversation about Paul Pierce, and he called game. He didn't call glass, he called game. We're talking about the top 5 post-game trash talkers of all times, or interviews of all times. The number 1 on my list was Mike Tyson with "I want to eat your children" comment. But I got a little bonus little clip I'm going to play for you. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. System 5 Electronics is proud to offer my listeners in the Atlanta area the most affordable home security monitoring systems, featuring smart solutions for your busy lifestyle for as low as $16.50 per month. Here's just a few reasons to choose System 5. Not only is their monitoring station located here in Atlanta, but they also install the most advanced, up-to-date alarm systems where you can access cameras, lights, door locks, thermostats, and other devices remotely with your smartphone. 24/7 technical support, plus the lowest service call fees in the business. And check this, you own your security alarm system once it's installed. Not only have they been around for almost 25 years, but their customer service is excellent. And you get direct access to the owner, Mr. Maceo Brown, to resolve any issues with your alarm system. Click on the banner on the Doug Stewart Show website or app for more details, or give them a call at 404-756-0736. Again, that's 404-756-0736. And make sure and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Yes!
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
It's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name, when last year I spent more money on spilt liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
A little bonus clip, the great Ric Flair. He didn't make my list because he's not really an athlete. But the great Ric Flair makes a cameo appearance on the Doug Stewart Show. Speaking of cameo appearances, tomorrow morning at 7:45 a.m., check your boy out on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Doing a little sports hit. Having some fun with Brother Tom. This segment is brought to you by Ticket Liquidator. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers to give you the opportunity to attend the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. The goal is to bring you more tickets, better service, and lower prices so that you can be there to witness the best the world has to offer in entertainment, culture, and sports. All right, so give them a call. Tickets for anything in the world, 855-638-3034. Once again, grab a pen, 855-638-3034. All right, that's Ticket Liquidator. This is the Doug Stewart Show, having a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. As we do every single day, have a lot of fun talking about these sports. And my man, Rel Scott, says technically Ric Flair, although not a real sport, Flair would tell you that you can't outdress him, beat him, or keep your women off of Space Mountain. Woo! Yeah, and I just played a little clip from Ric Flair. If he were a real athlete, and they are technically athletes a little bit, you know, they put in a lot of work. But the fact that their sport is kind of scripted kind of nullifies them from the real competition. From Vince Wright, Ball Award to Ricky Fowler for winning the Players' Championship. That's right, Ball Award to him. After his fellow golfers voted him the most overrated player on the tour, get it, Ricky. That was his second win yesterday at the Players. I actually went to a playoff with two other guys, and or maybe three other guys it was. I know Sergio Garcia was one of the guys as well. But I think that was his second victory, and I think maybe the reason why golfers probably voted him, his peers probably voted him as overrated is partly because of the bright clothes. He always wears that bright Puma stuff. A lot of times he'll wear orange or he'll wear pink. He had a little pink on yesterday. And really, in relative terms, he hadn't done a damn thing. You know, so I kind of get it. But obviously the dude's a great player. You saw he continued to hit the pin on 17. I think out of the every time that he played it, he came within 5 or 6 feet of the pin on 17 on that island green. So that's incredible. The kid has a lot of ability, and so congratulations to him yesterday on winning the Players' Championship. Scotty, Vince, Michigan turned their backs on those guys once they won during the Fab Five era, were vacated. I would have done the same. Ann Arbor is one of the most racist towns not located in the South. Wow, I didn't know that. Fat Boy McCoon, NBA is like the WWE at times, predictable. Jungle Brother, Kevin McHale nominated for BPA for incorporating the Hack-a-Shack, still getting beat by 30 points. Eugene Jackson, Doug, you know I'm still upset about that Cleveland calling a play without a timeout. Come on, refs. Clearly they let Cleveland and David Blatt get away with that. Because if you look on that sideline, there was a referee looking right at David Blatt, and they didn't call a technical foul. From Harvey Scott, the refs in the Bulls and Cavs series have been horrible, especially the last two games. Clay Davis, the refs gave the Cavs a timeout. In effect, they did. Niner for life. Can Mike Brown, David Blatt, or that coach from Miami coach, or did LeBron make them? Yeah, you're starting to question yourself. And David Blatt, the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, has coached professionally like over 20 years, but overseas. Now, this is a different game, different expectations, different skill level. And it looks like that he's trying to get, used to it. And Tyronn Lue probably made himself a couple of dollars yesterday or increased his chances of getting a job, because that's a guy that's been in an NBA locker room for many, many years, been on the sideline for many, many years as an assistant coach. You know that. And knew the situation, okay?
and, really, really saved the Cleveland Cavaliers if you're talking about Tyronn Lue, in my opinion. Niner for life. Can Mike Brown, Sandman, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The best trash talk got to be Adrian Bronner after the Paulie Maglianani fight. I took his belt and his girl. But he's not big enough of a star yet for me to put him on my damn list. From Boosa, LeBron would have cussed Blatt ass out. J.B. Jennings, Blatt needs to be nominated for the BPA. What a lame. Yeah, we can nominate David Blatt for a Boiled Penis Award. We can do that right now. Because he damn near lost. He had 2 nicks against him. First of all, the man called a play, and his player just said, "The hell with you. We're going to do this." That's ultimate disrespect. And he was about to call a timeout with no timeouts remaining, becoming the coach version of Chris Webber. That was horrible. From Miss Mocabella, did you see their wedding photo, Miss and Mrs. Griner Johnson? No, I did not see their wedding picture. Jungle Brother, baller to Tyronn Lue for saving Blatt's ass. From Harvey Scott, didn't get KG on the trash talking list with anything as possible. That not trash talking, Stu. That's not trash talking. From Buster Ward, I think we took KG out and put in the Deion Sanders comment. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Vince Wright, go Brittany, whooping ass, then getting married, the female Ray Rice. Yeah, that's exactly what it reminds you of. The same scenario with Ray Rice, where he got into a fight with his girlfriend, slugged her, knocked her out, and then he married her a month or so later. And the same scenario right now with Brittany Griner and what happened with her marrying her girlfriend. From that ninja, I don't get the Howard dislike. Quick fouls can mess up anybody's game. McHale deserves criticism for being outcoached. That ninja, you're a Dwight Howard fan, so I wouldn't expect you to understand it. From Niner for life, McHale is outcoached, but Dwight is overrated. I agree with both of those. Fat Boy McCoon, Howard is garbage. Fred Mack Jordan outplaying Howard in this series. When did you ever think in your lifetime that you would hear Dwight Howard is being outplayed by DeAndre Jordan, who has no offensive game at all? Zero. Now, he shoots a high percentage, and I'm talking about DeAndre Jordan. He shoots a high percentage because everything he gets is a dunk or a point-blank layup. But he got no skills at all. Can't shoot worth a damn. No low-post moves. No offensive game at all. Can't hit any free throws at all. And it's so bad for Dwight Howard right now at this point in his career that we're saying Dwight Howard is not as good of a center as DeAndre Jordan. Unbelievable. And he was like the face of the league. He was like one of the faces of the league before he left Orlando. From Fred Mack, as a Laker fan, watching Shaq for those years, when I watch Howard, I just don't see that force on the court. That's what people expect, and he doesn't deliver that. Yeah. And some people argue that he had some injuries, and so he's not the same player. I don't want to hear that. Sounds like an excuse to me. Nino the Rhino. Howard's been in the league too long not to have a low-post game. Very long. 0 low-post game. He got outplayed by DeAndre Jordan this weekend in 2 games. Miss Mocabella, Doug, what is shelling peas? Must be a coaching thing. You don't know what shelling peas are? You actually shell peas. You know, peas come in that pod, and you strip the pod open, and you shell peas, and you drop the peas in a little bucket, and your grandmama cooks them up later. Beans as well. Darryl Berry, at least Pac put gloves on Floyd. Canelo couldn't do that. J-Rob, that's a good one. Dion, this is my house. Forgot about that one. Yeah, I forgot about it too. From J.B. Jennings, I hope Dante get all his money. That was a freak injury because the boy had never been hurt during his entire playing career. Miss Mocabella, I guess Dante Fowler wearing that 70s suit at the NFL draft jinxed him. I don't think so, man, but it was absolutely a horrible thing to happen to him this weekend. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Fred Mack, I'm reading more of your chat because I owe it to y'all. I thank y'all a lot for all of your input. From Fred Mack, Ronald, 95% of Ali's interviews were classic. Vince Wright, Ticket Liquidator, nice, new sponsor. That's right. Shouts out to one of our new sponsors, Ticket Liquidator. You can give them a call at 855-638-3034. From Jungle Brother, the principal should be nominated for BPA. Are we going to nominate the principal that said the black people, that singled out the black people for leaving? Now, the black people were leaving. But, I mean, you shouldn't have singled them out, lady. From Jungle Brother, that principal should be nominated for BPA. Miss Mocha Bella, Doug, your daughter did a great job in the race. She's fast. Yeah, I posted a video of my daughter running the 100-meter. This was actually last week, or maybe it was even 2 weeks ago, and I just didn't get a chance to post it, so I posted it last night. She's handling her business, man. Ball award to my daughter, the LOP. Carabera. She's a baller. She gets a ball award on Monday, man. Man, look at the time. Are you not entertained? Huh? Are you not entertained? I know you're entertained, man. Come on. Damn, this show flies by. Yes, sir. This show truly flies by, man. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Doug Stewart Show. Pass the word. All right? Tell at least one person about the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to everybody for all of your posts today. Shouts out to all the Stewies. Yes. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. Shouts out to the Tree of Life, the producer to the Doug Stewart Show. Waterhead Walter. Dwayne Vasson, Gerald Oliveri. Thank y'all, man. I couldn't do it without you. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Once again, to all of the Stewies, we'll do it again tomorrow on Tight to Death Tuesday. All right, same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace.